Welcome everybody to another edition of the Bitcoin Minute. I'm your host Joseph Wagner, and let's get right into it. Since we last spoke, Bitcoin has regained footing above $40,000. Some of the indicators that have flipped to bullish on our daily time frame include our moving averages, primarily the 50-day simple moving average and the 20-day exponential moving average. As you can see, we had just received our first close above the 50-day simple moving average, and we have now had 3 closes above the 20-day exponential moving average. That alludes to a bullish market in the short term. If you remember last week, we were also looking at our Ichimoku cloud on a daily time frame, and that study still alludes to sideways action. As you can see, we're still inside of this cloud, and the cloud still shifted to red, mimicking what we see on our weekly time frames, which is consolidation around the $40,000 to $44,000 price zone with temporary spikes higher and lower. Basically, in this weekly chart, we see that Bitcoin is still maintained a bullish demeanor, although it has been consolidating in a very small price range. As you can see, we've had one attempted breakout to the upside and one attempted breakout to the downside. But since the beginning of December, we have been pretty much stuck within a narrow trading range. And to get some kind of idea as to whether the break to the upside will occur or to the downside is more likely, let's go ahead and look at our monthly chart. So, this is our monthly chart, exactly how we left it from our last episode. This was my prediction that we would fall to approximately $28,000 before breaking to new all-time highs after April of 2024. So I still think this is how things will play out over the next 6 to 12 months. Short term, I see the current uptick in Bitcoin pricing finding resistance at $45,000 before returning to a downside trajectory. And all of these predictions are loosely based on the cyclical nature of Bitcoin price action as surrounded by Bitcoin block reward halvings. And there was somebody else that had something to say about that today. Upon reading the latest headlines today about Bitcoin, I couldn't help but come across the immense attention that Scaramucci, the scumbag himself, has been given over a prediction he has made on a podcast with Scott Melker, covered in CoinDesk, Crypto Potato, Yahoo Finance, Coinpedia, and a few others. These are just some examples. And everybody except for Crypto Potato failed to do any homework to see if this theory has any validity to it whatsoever. We're going to take a close look at this and see if Scaramucci's theory on Bitcoin price as related to halving cycles has any merit. This is the quote, literally posted everywhere on crypto media news outlets today. Go back and look at Bitcoin halving cycles. The day that Bitcoin halves, multiply it by 4, and 18 months later, it's been uncanny that that's been the price of Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and let's test his theory. For that, we're going to go to our all-time history Bitcoin chart. And as we conveniently already have drawn in green horizontal lines, the 3 dates of halvings and the 4th one at its projected date. Let's go ahead and do the math for the very first halving. And we're going to give Scaramucci a lot of leeway. We're going to take any price this entire month. Let's say the bottom was $11, the top was about $12. So let's take $12 for instance. 12 multiplied by 4 is 48. Let's see what Bitcoin was doing 18 months from this halving. We could simply count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 months later, it was between 570 and 444, a far cry from $48. And does Scaramucci's math even work for the last halving cycles? We don't even have to do that. Crypto Potato did it for us and proved my theory on Scaramucci's theory, and that is him and his theories are both bullshit. He's a bad human being and he's a bad mathematician. Let's look at the other two halving cycles. Again, this is an excerpt from the article published by Crypto Potato, the one media outlet that actually punched in the numbers and tested this theory before just blatantly publishing it as a headline, which many others had done. Bitcoin's last halving was on May 11th, on which day the asset closed at $9,670. 18 months later, the asset tapped its current all-time high of $69,000. Let's do that math real quick. Let's round it up to make it real simple. Let's say 10,000. 10,000 times 4, 40,000. Still very shy of the 69,000. And before that, the price at the previous halving was $656. The price at the previous halving was $656. That occurred on July 16th. It hit a high in December 2017, which is approximately 18 months from July 2016. And 650, let's round it up to 650, times 4 is $2,600, which is a far cry, Scaramucci, from the nearly $20,000 18 months later reached by Bitcoin. So if you can show me even one halving cycle where your math works, then I will start to give you an inkling of credibility. Shame on you guys for giving him and his bogus theory any media play. Good job, Crypto Potato, at least for showing in a roundabout way that his method is in fact bullshit. That's all we have today. I hope you guys can sift through the bullshit and find the golden eggs. Until next time, this has been Joseph Wagner.